My name is Silver Rain Running Cloud. I was born Letha Deck in Brooklyn, New York on the 23rd of July in 1956. Both my parents were college graduates. In fact, their parents were college graduates as well. In fact, I come from a long line of achievers and educated people. I'm a mixed race person. I live in America. My family says my grandfather told me that his grandmothers told him that our family met the Mayflower. And when you count by generations, that's not really that long ago. In my family, I have Choctaw Freedmen. I have Chickasaw. I have Cherokee. I have Micmac. I have British. I have Jewish. I have African. And probably Mexican. It's hard to know. Because when your people have lived on a landmass this big for millennia, you get around. I'm recording this because I'm being persecuted by the Arizona State criminals. I'm a journalist, but I didn't really start being a journalist. I didn't really plan to be a journalist. I wasn't even trained as a journalist. In fact, I would have become a journalist, but at Northwestern University, Medill is a separate school. I thought I could decide either on English or journalism once I got in the university. But I discovered that I had been admitted to the College of Arts and Sciences, where literature was my choice, and they called the literature English after Britain, because we were forced to study British literature as our core canon for 2 years. This was my first major encounter with culture wars interfering with my choices. I wanted to major in American literature. I'd grown up admiring Edgar Allan Poe and Nathaniel Hawthorne and, well, Phyllis Wheatley and Zora Neale Hurston, Ralph Ellison, Richard Wright. I could go on and on. Leon Forrest, Trey Ellis. Yeah, I could go on and on. I mean, I love American literature. Ernest Hemingway, even of every race. So when I had to read 2 years of British literature, which didn't relate to me or my culture, it was very tedious. I also had a tedious summer job working as a legal trainee at Brunswick Corporation. That was a job invented for me by Frank Carr and the CEO of Brunswick Corporation, as they were trying to get more non-Europeans involved in the business world. Well, that's just a little bit about me. I spent most of my life working, trying to achieve great things. And now that so many of the things I wanted to achieve have been reached, it's a very happy time for me. But my reality hasn't quite caught up with my reality yet. So while it's true that my work has won me great acclaim among people that are watching for those things, future trends, companies to invest in, future leaders. While that's all been really great and good, I've still had to live in the world that we are in. And I live in Arizona now, but I found this everywhere I lived, including Canada. I even found it when I went to France. What I found is that Europeans don't like me. My racial mixtures disturb them. And while I am not a consistent thing, because my DNA is it's very expressive, I do feel a sense of, and while I can't, while I'm not narrow like that, I do feel a sense of sadness because they are consistently hateful. Consistently. They are consistently obsessed with race. They are consistently competitive. They are consistently cruel. This tendency has gotten to the point in America where neo-Nazis have formed a separate society. And in my search for a place to live, I've encountered quite a few neo-Nazi gangs and neo-Nazi criminals. This story is about the ones in Arizona. And it's not a complete history of the hostilities. It's very focused on the court corruption and the way that the law enforcement and judiciary work to create Europeans genociding Americans in Arizona. And I call this story Apartheid, Arizona.